And Andrzejewski mentioned, and Chairman mentioned, we really did have a very interesting cycle, and it's unfortunate we couldn't get some help at the state level as far as electing a Republican governor, because these guys, and they'll talk about it more, we're just really headed in the wrong direction in the state when they want to raise taxes and they want to borrow money. I mean, if you're going to raise taxes, stop borrowing and use that. But how do you do both? And I don't want to steal your thunder, but I guess I already did. But I say that because JC also mentioned that there was some statewide, and the folks that represent in my congressional district, we picked up 2 Republican House seats, and we picked up 1 state Senate seat. So we continue with your help to bring conservative representation to Springfield. Now we've got a lot to overcome, but we got to keep plugging away at that. And statewide, I mean, we did have some huge successes as far as Washington, D.C. We picked up 5 of our 4 targeted races. Let me say that again. We targeted 4 to win, and we picked up 5. So that means one guy won that we didn't even think. We had no idea he was even on the radar screen, and it was because, like a lot of aspects of this last election, and we got folks here who are celebrating the Lincoln Day with us, who are in essence independent. I think most of them are conservatives. They're Tea Party devotees, or there are September 12th groups, and you name it. This new independent movement has really brought some new energy to the body politic and has really helped these November elections. So the member I'm talking about is a guy named Joe Walsh, who is won by about 248 votes. The victory didn't get declared until about a month after the election. And then we picked up 4 other ones that most of those weren't really targeted until later on in the election cycle. They joined 87 new Republican freshman members of Congress, which is about twice as many in total new members that come every cycle. That's why when we say we're cutting $61 billion, we're cutting less than 1% of federal spending. So if we really want to get control, because a young lady who is a great violinist, and I was talking to her mother, you know, my boys are violinists, my wife's a cellist, so I've heard Orange Blossom Special thousands of times in my house, and she did an excellent job. But unfortunately, she already owes $47,000 to the national government. So keep practicing. And that's why, so that's where the debate's going to be, is we're going to have to, and we will in our budget, we will talk about Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Because if we don't get control of the entitlement programs, they will consume any other spending we do. So that will be the challenge. I hope you follow us as we go through that process. It's really great to be. We've got a lot of work to do. People are saying, how's it going in Washington? I said, we really are working hard. You know, I'm not saying, oh, poor politicians, they keep working hard. You know, I was at a Rotary Club on yesterday, Friday. And I said, other than Afghanistan, Iraq, now Libya, the national debt, deficit spending, Obamacare, things are going fine, right? So, but that's what you send me to Washington. You don't send me to Washington to take the easy way out. I think we've got a new swag in our step. We know who we're fighting for. We're doing our best we can to get a conclusion in the 2008 spending so we can go through the 2012 budget and really start taking on the tough issues of our time. And hopefully, we know you'll be watching us, but hopefully we'll make you proud. Thank you all.
Humbled by your vote and by your support. You know, remember Apollo 13? I won't be very long, JC, not to worry. Okay. Do you remember Apollo 13 when They were stuck way out there in space, and there were some engineers gathered around, and they finally sorted out what the problem was, and they decided that they were going to either tell the astronauts what was wrong or not. And some of the engineers that had never been aviators or military men decided, well, maybe we better not tell them. And another guy looks across the table that had been an aviator, and he says, you can't do that. You simply can't do that. You have got to tell the aviator what the condition of his craft is in. And I want to tell you that I promised you, were I to be elected Secretary of State, I would be absolutely forthcoming in everything. I would publish the entire budget online, and you'd see who worked there and why they were qualified to be with us. And my obligation to you does not end because I did not prevail. In fact, it's only another part of it. And so I intend to tell you what I saw, just briefly, some of the things that I saw, and the condition of your aircraft, our great Republican Party in this great state of the Union. You know, a lot of things will change now. We've got higher taxes, we have gerrymandering, and when you think about the fact that if all of Illinois stood on their rooftops tonight, 85% of them would see the Chicago skyline. We have got to come to grips with the reality before us, how our state is changing, and what are the things we need to do. Because none of the social issues are on the table tonight. Gerrymandering is, crooked politicians, runaway debt. Those are the things that define the politicians that have won and the fight before them. And so as Republicans, as a person that was in the trenches in Chicago, late at night on Saturday and Friday nights and in Sundays, talking to Hispanics and talking to many of the minority voters in Chicago, we have an important message, and they will listen, and they will vote for us. Thank God they voted for Kirk. They will vote for us. But we have got to realize that our vision for America is one of fiscal conservatism, of responsible government, less taxes, okay? And to allow people to be entrepreneurs and succeed in the areas that they can. Unfortunately, we can't tell them what they will do behind their closed doors. And we can't tell them how to pray. Let's remember that this state created what we have in Washington today. Barack Obama. We created him. And trust me, we have been down before. The United States and our party has been down before. And we will prevail in this state. We will be a majority Republican state because we have the answers when it comes to business ethics and to honesty in government. And we have the answers for what ails America today. We just need to understand that this has to be a big tent. And when you create a big tent and you open all the doors, there's a lot of people that are going to come in with common beliefs and earnest needs that only our party can solve. But they won't be exactly like you. Not in their beliefs, not in their color, not in their orientation. But they'll be Republicans. And they'll vote for our candidates. And we will prevail in this state. So, you know, as a matter of pride, I'm an American Marine. And I always will be. Nevertheless, I don't want to ignore the other things that I am. You know, I'm a citizen of the state of Illinois. I'm a Christian. I'm a businessman. And I'm a Republican. And Hispanics want to be Republican. You can believe me in that. I am telling you that, point blank. But if it was just the social issues alone, they would all vote for us. But it's not that. It's that they want the things that they want. Business creation, less government, less taxes. But they don't want to be told by their government what to believe. or how to carry on their private lives. And so when we talk about those things from our doorways in. That's all that I can tell you is the condition of our craft. Think about this. Last year, just in February of last year, every one of us showed up at the primary. All of us. We all had a dog in the fight, and we all showed up. 750,000 of us showed up to vote in the primary. And in the primary, 950,000 Democrats showed up without even batting an eyelash. Now, if that's not an opportunity to build consensus, then I don't know what tree we're barking up. But we have got to get real about where we're headed, because this is very serious business now. Our state is in debt. Our country is in debt. China is pouring out dollars, throwing away dollars. They don't believe us in the world anymore. They don't believe this president. And why should they? Why should they? Think about this too. During the general election, there was a lot of conservative candidates out there. A lot of them. One of them that I know of spent $35 per vote and lost. Bill Brady, who would have been an outstanding governor, outstanding, spent more than $10 a vote. And this Republican Marine spent 4 cents per vote. 4 pennies for every vote that I got. Now, if I never run again, never, think about that. Think about the opportunities that we have before us. And let us use this 2010 experience as a moment to build our party and retool ourselves and dedicate ourselves to the inclusion that Teddy Roosevelt talked about, that Abe Lincoln talked about, that Ronald Reagan talked about. Let us not be afraid to be open and free and think and believe the things we have, but accept our neighbors as they being allowed to think and believe the things they must. And I promise you, we are going to start winning elections. We have to. We are Republicans. We're supposed to win elections. Every one of them. We have the answers, and I have no doubt we do. But we have to be inclusive. We have to understand what's going on in Chicago. We have to understand that the Hispanics are growing. Every day, every month, 50,000 Hispanics come of age in this country. That's nothing to fear. That's a good thing. They have a great work ethic, a fantastic work ethic. When the Irish came and the Jewish came and the Russians came, the same thing, we went through angst in our nation. But it turned out to be a great thing for us. And so, as I leave you tonight, I want to thank you once again for allowing me to speak and accepting that this is just one guy's viewpoint. One guy that lost. But I love my country. And I love my state. And I love my party. And I would be doing you a great disservice if I would not tell you the condition of your craft. Because it's that important to me and to all of us. My name is Robert Enriquez, and I thank you very much.